Welcome back. I'm Alfred Levant Weber, and I'm greatly privileged to be here with Ole Dammegard, who's coming to us from Sweden. Ole, tell us.
Well, I'm joining you with what I think is a massive, massive alert. I believe that I'm on the track of maybe a European version of 9/11. I mean, I've never ever been uh, suspecting anything of this magnitude ever. And as you know, I've been for 35 odd years, I've been doing everything I can to expose top political assassinations and false flag operations, state-sponsored terrorism. And up to date, I've been able to publicly on international radio predict 18 alleged terror attacks up to 2 months before they happen, sometimes with the help of you. And so I'm very grateful that you're taking the time to get on the air this quick and help me spread this information, because I think this is major. At the moment, I'm on tour in Sweden. I'm here with my amazing tour manager, Johnny Cash, who's, by the way, the best manager in the world. And we're traveling around in Sweden on what we call the Blind Date Tour. We travel around because we're getting stopped everywhere. So we've taken these events on the road, where we go to people's home instead, so that it cannot be stopped. And so we do a lot of small, anything from 25 to 100 people type of things, in the privacy and protection of people's home, because we've been shut down several times. The payment system has been shut down. Somebody has filmed our RV, a person in a red uniform. We've had several really bad attacks, like with some kind of energy type of thing. When I did one talk in Stockholm the other day, I was feeling almost dizzy and very disorientated. In the intermission, a man came up with some measuring equipment. He's apparently a very well-known guy when it comes to showing the effects of 5G and Wi-Fi, and so he had very advanced measuring equipment. He said, "Are you aware of the type of radiation that you just experienced?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Check this out." And it was 217 microwatts per square meter, I believe it's called. He said normally it would be like 100 up to 200, something like that. When I was speaking, and at the time when I was feeling, I couldn't really focus. I was feeling disorientated, and also I saw that people close to me were looking really bored, almost falling asleep. He said the radiation was about 10,000 microwatts per square meter, and he said the radiation is like every single meter you go away from the target area, it goes drastically down. So according to his measurement, where I was standing, it would be somewhere between 100 and 200,000 microwatts per square meter, which is a bizarre amount of radiation. He also said the magnetic field was massive around where I was, so no wonder that I was feeling a bit weird. Then we had I'm just telling you a bit of the resistance we're moving, because we come in peace, we have lovely encounters with incredible people, absolute beautiful meetings where I talk about death and destruction and all of these terror attacks, but with the intention of healing and empowering and lifting people. And I tell you, it's just beautiful. I'm so grateful to be part of it. And people won't leave. I mean, 1 a.m. in the morning, we have to kick them out because they just want to, new friends. It's just beautiful. We call it, and we drive around in this RV called the Love Mobile, and it's just beautiful. But the attacks are fierce. So I'll just give you a few examples. Johnny was driving, and he was talking in his cell phone, and suddenly he was just zapped. So he almost drove off the car or the road. He was all pale and a little sweaty and totally disorientated for a while. Then we came to another city, and there was this guy in a red uniform. We were up on the 8th floor, and I just happened to look out the window. Then there was this guy, official-looking guy in a red uniform. I've never seen that uniform before, walking around the RV, filming it. I mean, maybe he was, a mobile home enthusiast. I don't know, but it's the first time I've had people film the vehicle I'm in. we were at another place where I started getting really bad toothache. And I thought, oh shit, and I can't afford the dentist at this time. So we started unpacking the car, and when I was outside, the pain disappeared. Then I got back into the car, and the pain started again. I was like, what is this? So I went out, it got lesser. I went back into the car, it started again. So I spoke to CIA whistleblower Cody Snodgrass and asked, and he said that when he was active in Black Ops, one of the ways that they could feel if they were in directed energy areas where these weapons were used, the fillings, especially from the 60s, where the metal type, and I don't know what the English word is, amalgam,
Right.
that metal, that would be heated up by the radiation, and that would then irritate the nerve and cause pain. So he always had a sign. They had they call it the ancient warning system or something like that. That when they could feel that feeling, they just got out of the area very quickly. And so I feel, and Cody said, I'm very sure that your car might have been sort of targeted somehow. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe satellite, or they lock you in. Well, I have no idea. But it was just very strange that it was pain inside the car, not outside. Then we went on to the next place where we did a talk. Beautiful evening, fantastic. I was talking about the terror attack in central Stockholm 2017. And when I got out, when we finished, it was in the middle of the night. I got out, got into the RV, and I just felt the smell of marijuana was really heavy. And I mean, we don't smoke. So I was like, what the hell? I got hold of the other people and said, come on, please, is this the smell of old socks or what? And they came in and said, my God, it's marijuana. So I thought somebody has, while I did the talk, somebody has stashed some kind of drugs in the car. So I got a video camera, I got the host out, and I said, please film me. So I said, it's 02:19 a.m. in the morning. It's the whatever date it was. And I've just come out here. It smells like marijuana in the whole car. We have put nothing here. So we're going to take the whole car apart to see if there's anything here. And should we be stopped like a few blocks down the road and be taken for drugs, this is what happened. So I want to record this beforehand. Anyway, we did not find anything. Poor Johnny, he was ripping the whole car apart. Even the water tank and under the seats and you name it, inside the labs. We looked everywhere and nothing. And then we drove off and the smell just disappeared. But there are these air inlets, in the floor where you could pump in this smell. So that, if we were stopped by, and they had dogs, for instance, that would start barking, and then somebody with some drugs in their pocket could just dump it and say, boom, you're nailed. That would stop my so-called career as a researcher. I would be a druggie instead of a researcher that you could rely on. And also it could stop this tour big time. Boom, yet another one. So we did another talk, and that evening there was this guy that I tell you, he looked like military intelligence, some kind of, he had this military aura around him, and he came in a big Jaguar, and he was sitting, normally, I mean, my eye goes like this over the audience all the time, so everybody feels involved, and normally I get this beautiful feeling from people. I get a terrified look from him because I think that he came there not really knowing the explosive content of the things that I was exposing, So he looked terrified, and then he left really early. I mean, he really looked weird. So I think that he was a bit of a plant. Then in the morning, this was this morning, the host couple that had us as guests in their home, they drove off, and there were 3 adults in the car, They were driving down the road, and then there was this police car with 4 police officers. This is quite a lot. It's normally 2 police officers per car. This police car had 4, and they pulled the car over. And so the driver, he thought, okay, I'm gonna be checked for alcohol and my driver's license. And he had forgotten his driver's license. So when he stopped, he said, I'm very sorry, I forgot my driver's license. And the police said, normally you can get fined for that. And the police said, don't worry about that. This is not a normal police control. This is a good day police control, whatever that means. Anyway, so he got everyone in the car to identify themselves, and really, they had to stick their face forward so he could really study them closely, check their ID, check their driver's license in the back seat. And also, when he said, he was very polite, and then when they were about to take off, he said, please drive carefully. Please remember that sometimes if you drive recklessly, you can easily die. And so they took off, and they just felt really like, what the hell was that? And for me, and the way they interpreted it, it was a subtle death threat.
Right.
I don't know how.
This sounds like the Swedish COINTELPRO on steroids. Really?
Yeah, it's like
it does. It sounds like a very deliberate campaign of I'm not sure what they would call COINTELPRO in Sweden, because obviously that's a U.S. program whereby the military intelligence and police targets civilians with overt surveillance and social disruption campaigns. But it's obvious that your tour has been targeted in a way that's a violation of every law. For example, the European Declaration of Human Rights, it's a complete violation of that law. And Sweden and that police, as a lawyer, I'm speaking, and as a war crimes judge, you're under the protection, and those police are subject to the European the European Declaration of Human Rights. So they are directly interfering with your human rights and your rights as a journalist. I know that I've forwarded you a number of the legal standards, because you're operating as a journalist and as a communicator there that is operating under various international standards, and the police are subject to those. So it seems to me that the military intelligence of Sweden are targeting you by the evidence in an overt, what we would call in North America, a COINTELPRO campaign. I'm not sure what the terminology would be in Sweden, but it's a direct violation of international legal standards. That's what I can say.
Yeah, and I tell you, I do not travel anywhere without these legal documents that you were so kind to help me with. So I have them with me everywhere.
Yeah.
And also, I think this is one of the reasons why I am not the one that they threaten, but instead they threaten the hosts, trying to scare the people around us. Anyway, what I think it's positive, I think it's wonderful, because come on, it's a joke. We are having small gatherings like 25 to 100 people. It should be an absolute joke if they're that powerful, but they're not. It's the whole Wizard of Oz thing. Behind the scenes, the real power is, there's so few, and we're like billions. We're billions, and they're a few thousand. So I think it's great news, and I love when they show their ugly face, because they shoot themselves in the foot. Because as soon as I get threatened, I get it, I push it out there. That's what happened. If anything else happened to me, it's them. It's very
Right.
obvious. And I'm not depressed. The car has perfectly good brakes. Everything is working fine. I'm healthy. I've got my whole body checked, my heart, everything. I'm perfectly healthy. So if I'm suicided, boom, it backfires in their face because I'm not. It wasn't me.
Right.
Anyway, but what I'm doing is I'm pushing my finger straight into national boils of absolute rotten, stinky conspiracies. And the major conspiracies are the ones that I think I mentioned: the sinking of MS Estonia, the killing of the Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme. I believe that the sinking of MS Estonia, killing almost 1,000 people, were part of covering up this incredible scandal that are behind this assassination. And then the alleged terror attacks on April 7, 2017. Well, somebody leaked a video after this attack. It was an attack where a truck driver is said to have driven, a foreign truck driver, Muslim terrorist, that jumped into a beer truck and then drove down the street, killing 5 people and injuring a lot of other people, then ending up crashing the truck right into a shop window. Big thing in the middle of the major the capital city on a Friday afternoon. Major operation. But I have been able to expose it step by step by step by step, exactly how they pulled it off, and to some extent who were actually involved, who were doing it. So if you combine the three and then add the Anna case that you have also had been part of, where we're pointing into the pedophile network of high-ranking people in society in Sweden with global connections, you have a possible massive bomb, truth bomb, that can blow the darkness to smithereen. So I think this is why they're getting very scared, because I've got my fingers in all the big, really sensitive areas. Anyway, after this attack, this truck attack in April 2017, there were like a TED talk, a conference called Samverkan, which means coordination of these different units. And there's this man, he's the chief of security for the central government organization in Stockholm. His name is Ola Slettenmark. Ola Slettenmark. And at this conference that is being filmed, he says that they had been planning on a drill. You know the importance of drills when it comes to false flag terror attacks. On a drill on May 10. Then it went under the name of Operation Styrbjörn. But something unexpected happened, and I believe that was me exposing that they were going to hit Copenhagen, so that they had to redirect the whole thing, which we've gone through it on your show, I believe. So instead, they took option 2 and they hit Stockholm, but they had to sort of move fast because they were in the process of being exposed in Denmark. So they changed and went to alternative B and went for Stockholm. What he says in this lecture, he said that as part of this drill, his words on April 7th, as part of the drill, he sent out a mass email, a bulk email to all the different government organizations, a mass email 1 minute before the attack, getting the terror level up to maximum level. 1 minute before the attack, he sent out the email to raise the terror level, And then he goes into great details, like with the next few minutes. Then they had this type of meeting, this anti-terror this anti-terror that, all of these, at a point where it could have been a normal car accident. It could have been a drunk driving thing. This truck, it could have been somebody with an epileptic seizure that died, and the car just went wild. You wouldn't know, but 1 minute before he sent out this This, in my world, is a smoking gun as good as they come. Because in my world, that guy is 100% guilty of participation in this false flag terror attack, which is high treason against the nation of Sweden. Okay, Ola Slettenmark, not a major player, but a key player in this operation, I would say, because he's part of organizing the whole thing. There's also a foreign element in this thing, and I think it's the crisis-solutions.com that we have been doing several shows about. Crisis-solutions.com. So, anyway, so this man who have told us himself that he was part of this, he is interesting in my world. So I've been tracking him down with the help of some beautiful friends who have been finding stuff about him on the internet. Not that easy, but he has Twitter accounts and he has other things like that. And on those, we found this thing where he says on October the 6th, I'm on my way to Barcelona, and the last steering group meeting, they have had 500. He said they celebrated 500 of these meetings. And he says here now on October the 6th, on my way to Barcelona and the last steering group meeting in this international project that we are taking part of. On the 15th of November, the results of this project will be presented by, it's a Twitter account, at Mayor of London. And this will start what is called the Counter-Terrorism Preparedness Network, where this is taking part of. And this Swedish participation is together with the cities of London, England, Manchester, England, Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, and Rotterdam, the Netherlands. All of these are NATO countries, and all of these are cities that have had experienced multiple alleged terror attacks, which I have exposed more or less all of them as false flag operations. So I think we're looking at a part of what I've been doing so many shows about, calling it the global tour of terror, like one mobile unit that is moving around like a rock group on tour, carrying out these operations. Boom, boom, boom. Same script, same people, just the different uniforms. Whatever the country they is, they will take an Australian uniform or an English uniform or whatever. Yeah. So this is what I think we're looking at here. Well, what he says is that there's a new operation taking place, and this is called Operation Sea Eagle 2019. Operation Havsörn 2019 is the Swedish name. And in this operation, they say it's a wide simulation drill. Wide, I mean, you can imagine what they mean with wide. And it says that it will take part of it will be gray zone problematics with considerate disturbances of society, disinformation, and information influence, also with serious actions of antagonism. I think that they're talking about divide and conquer, blaming it on Muslim terrorists so that we, the normal Swedes or whatever, will get even more angry and frustrated with the immigration. We will just stir even more of the hatred and racism and things. So in the end, it's so easy to cause a civil war just with a slight little spark, like a thing like this. It also says that it will be taking place on the 23rd to 24th of October, and the duration will be 36 hours. But what he's saying is that they have decided on 39 targets. They call it something different, but 39 targets in these 5 cities simultaneously.
Yeah. What are the 5 cities again?
It's London, England. It's Manchester, England. Paris, France. Barcelona, Spain. And Rotterdam, Holland, or the Netherlands. And then in Sweden, at the exact same time and with the same name of the operation, which is Operation Sea Eagle or Havsörn, there will be 2 nuclear power plant disaster drills, like one up in the north of Sweden, Älvkarleby, and where there will be 1,600 people officially taking part of that drill. and another one at a power plant called Forsmark in, I think it's southeast of Sweden, as far as I know. So in the same 36 hours, just imagine 39 targets more or less simultaneously hitting France, England, Holland, and Spain, Sweden. 39, can you imagine the chaos that they're preparing here? It's unheard of. We've never ever seen anything like it, I would suggest. And this, I believe, is like a European version of 9/11 that is coming up within 24 hours here. So we have 24 hours to spread the info out there as soon as possible to as many as possible, to aim the light at them and then defuse this massive atomic bomb that they're preparing.
Right.
Because they will use this, I think, as well, not only as all these anti-terror, all of the whatever surveillance, military, police, maybe martial law, but they will also use it to censor the internet even more by saying that, look here, these terrorist group, they've been having Twitter accounts, planning the whole thing. For your protection, we need to shut down all of your liberties when it comes to these type of things. Programs like your program, maybe your platform will be banned, these type of, because your type of information will be dangerous, because we are the people spreading this part of information that is, we're being shut down right, left, and center, as you know already.
Right.
So a thing like this could just be the thing that could kill the internet for everyone.
Now, I just want to get this fact straight. Could you state the name of the source of this information and spell it just again?
Okay, the name of the man is Ole Slettenmark. That's Ola.
Ola.
That's his first name. Then SLE.
SLE.
TTEN.
Okay.
MARK.
Okay.
And he is the guy who, I can send you the link. In his presentation, he's the one saying that he sent out this terror alert 1 minute before the attack. That is impossible if you're not involved, because that was before anyone even knew that it would happen.
Right.
Okay.
And
So
this is the April 7th, 2017 attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right.
And now, right now, this is what I didn't know about him at all. It was only when this video suddenly aired on YouTube. I have no idea who put it up there. And also the arrogance of filming themselves while talking about that. Really, you have to, but this is normal. They push our face in it, So, right. And it's on his Twitter and also his social media that he's talking about this exercise. Also, there's an official website where it's called samverkanstockholmsregionen.se/calendarium.
Yeah. You're going to have to either you can
know.
say, could you send me via Skype both Ola's Twitter account and that website that you just mentioned? Put it in the Skype chat.
For sure. I will do that, Alfred.
Yeah.
So I will send you the link of where he says it, the 1 minute before.
Yeah.
I will show you his Twitter account where he's talking about 39 targets. Yeah. Also, they say that he was part of a memorial ceremony of the Barcelona attack, where they're standing, and you will see the photo. There's this memorial plate that is rectangular and very long, but the way they've taken the photo, it looks like a pyramid with the text of the dead victims on it. So, and that's where he's also talking about the 39, they call it something different, but that they've decided on 39 options in these 5 cities. And he mentioned in his own Twitter account the exact cities. So I'll send you that as well. It will be in Swedish, but you can see the numbers and the names and all of these things.
Right.
And also I will send you his Twitter account so you can see for yourself.
Right. Good. Well, we will certainly put this up also with an article with this video, and then also with your contact information in case other media want to get in contact for more detail.
Please do it. The thing here we're talking about is speed. Get it out
Yeah.
there now.
We'll do it now.
Fantastic, Alfred. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much.
Sure. Well, thank you. Are there any final words, final thoughts or messages that you'd like to give in this particular video?
Love and light is the way forward, and it will just eliminate the darkness. But we need to be brave. We need to be fast. We need to be with the pure intention of raising this to a whole new